Good day guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to share my recent travel experience with Insta360 X3 and share why this is a camera I can't travel without and what makes it the most versatile travel camera available. I mean, I do have a lot of cameras, so what makes this so special? I also want to say that this video is not sponsored or paid by Insta360. I just want to share my experience and give you an insight on how it is to travel with a 360 camera and if it's worth getting one. Now let's get one thing out of the way. The X3 does not have the best image quality. And I think a lot of people know that, especially if you've been watching all my X3 videos that I've published over the past 2 years. But you're not buying a 360 camera for the quality, but for the versatility it gives. 360 reframing with endless options. And one of my favorite things with the X3 is that I can reframe however I want. And I can also export the same video in vertical and horizontal only by changing the aspect. So I can get both videos, one for YouTube and one for the other social media platforms. And this is something you can't do with any other action camera, or well, you can do it with the GoPro Hero 12 after the latest firmware update, but you won't be able to reframe in the same way as a 360 camera. And traveling to the Maldives where there's nothing but sun, sand and sea, and using the X3 with the invisible dive case, well man, you know, this is why I love the X3. Even though it might not give the best underwater quality like the Ace Pro, I'm still able to capture more. And take this clip for example, where I gently placed the X3 in between some dead corals, pushed record and went about my business. And I mean, you can't do this with a regular action camera, and you need a 360 camera in order to do this. And to be able to just swim off and then later reframe however I want to do, I mean, it's amazing. And the quality is actually pretty decent, especially for social media. When it comes to other features with the X3, we have that single lens mode and me mode. Even though the me mode is limited to 1080p, it's actually looking pretty decent, and I found myself using this quite a bit actually, despite being a lower resolution. And another thing which I mentioned quite a lot, I think I mentioned it in every single comparison that I do, but I think a lot of people are still way too obsessed with image quality and resolution and only go by the camera that has the highest resolution, like the GoPro Hero 12, including myself. But at the end, GoPro is my least favorite action camera because not only is the X3 more versatile, but we also have other cameras like the Action 4, which has the Log M, which is my favorite color profile, and now the Ace Pro with the clarity zoom. I mean, snorkeling or diving with this is, oh, it's so satisfying. So if you want to learn more about the Ace Pro, and especially when it comes to snorkeling and diving and the clarity zoom, make sure to watch my previous video on the Ace Pro, link down below. So there is a reason I prefer the X3 over something like the Hero 12 for example, and that is the versatility, ease of use, and the fact that there's only a few settings to change, so I don't have to spend 30 minutes to navigate the menu in order to change some settings. But I still like the GoPro 12, it's just not my favorite action camera. It's just too much going on and it feels like I'm taking these unnecessary steps compared to the X3, which is the reason I didn't bring my GoPro Hero 12 to the Maldives. So even if the GoPro 12 has amazing image quality in comparison, I feel like I get more out of my trip with a 360 camera despite the lower resolution. And one of my favorite things to do with the Insta360 X3 is of course to jump in the drink. So if you don't know by now, I love being in the water, which is why I love traveling to destinations like Hawaii and the Maldives. And I think what makes it for me when it comes to the X3 is that invisible selfie stick. Just having that floating camera in front of you or wherever you decide to place it without seeing the actual selfie stick is amazing. Even though I've done this for about 2 years now, I still get that, wow, this looks awesome. So if you already have the X3 but it's still sitting on the shelf because you don't get that wow feeling when you're using it, or if you're on the fence of getting one, I also made a full set of cheat sheets which you can find down below, and these cheats are for travel, vlog, if you ride a motorcycle or shoot cinematic videos. And these sheets will guide you through everything that you need to know and put you in the right direction with simple instructions and the best settings to use for different scenarios, as well as a separate creative shot list for whenever you're out traveling and need some ideas to be creative. So if you want to learn more about these cheat sheets, there's a link down below. Now, there's only so much I can say that I haven't said before when it comes to the X3, but if there's one camera I think everyone should have, it would be a 360 camera. It might not be your main camera though, but it's definitely going to be the most versatile camera in your arsenal, and you can do a lot of fun things with this as well. So at the end, it might actually be one of your most used action cameras or 360 cameras. But there is one thing that I was pretty skeptical about when it comes to the X3 and the Maldives, which was the temperature. I've never experienced such a heat. It was like, you know, putting your head in the grill or something, and it was extremely hot. And the fact that the X3 is a darker color and gets warmer when you record over time, I did expect this to have tons of issues when it comes to overheating. But to my surprise, nothing, not a single issue with the X3 in the extreme heat. I've never experienced such heat in my life. So now, after using it here in Norway and the Maldives and 4 trips to Hawaii without experiencing any issues, I think it's safe to say that this is a keeper. So there you have my, I would say 2 years later, almost 2 years later, long-term travel experience. Not a full review there, but a travel experience with the X3. And is this something that I can recommend? I mean, I use it all the time. I use it with my motorcycle, I use it when I'm out with the kids, I use it all the time, and it is a fantastic camera. And you have that single lens mode, so you can shoot regular action camera videos if you want to do that as well. So when it comes to a 360 camera, the only camera I can recommend and the only leading camera there is the X3. So yeah, that's everything I have for you today. And when it comes to, if you have any questions related to this skin, I had a really hard time finding some proper good looking skins for the X3. This was bought off some online store here in Norway, and I actually struggled to find some proper skins online, but I assume there would be some on AliExpress if you want to grab some. But I actually think this looks pretty darn good. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this skin. So yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.